Okay, hi, what colors are we doing again?
Black, white, purple, or violet, the teal color, and the orange.
Okay, black.
All right, welcome. Welcome, everyone. I'm Ronita. I'm a Purposeful Point, and I teach painting. And today we're going to put this cute little penguin on a canvas. And to get started, let's talk about the canvas. I'm actually using a 11 by 14 canvas acrylic paper. Just for room's sake, but you can use whatever works for you. I see people having their books and different things like that, sketch pads, stuff like that, to get not a sketch pad, but something to hold the paint. Use what works best for you. I am using acrylic paint. I'm using Deco Art brand. I can't speak much on anything, and I'm sure, I mean, I have hear people talk about some other brands, or even like that paint that starts with a T. I can't think of it, but I've never tried any of those. So you do what works best for you. I like the acrylic paint, and I don't experiment. I stay with what I know. We are using my brushes, the synthetic brushes. I like my flat brushes for my background. And as we get closer, I might go in a little bit small, use smaller brushes. And I also have the pointer brush for the smaller the details like that. So I just have a variety of brushes that I have here. I don't know sizes because they pretty much wear off. So you just work with what you like, what works best for you. So let's go ahead and get started. I kind of want to outline the body of my penguin first to get me started. And you could probably use a pointer brush. Like I said, I just kind of want to get that outline started where I want that to be. I do have a cup of water to rinse my brush in between rinses. I also have a paper towel to dab my brush to get rid of any excess water so it won't be too wet or kind of like I'm painting flat, so it's not going to run. But if you were using a canvas, you don't want that paint to run down. So you want to keep it, make sure you have a paper towel to touch your brush. And I like to use that, get my brush a little bit wet to get me started. Kind of flows a little bit better. But again, I'm just kind of doing my outline. So I'm looking at my penguin. I want to leave some space over here. So I'm kind of outlining this white, not the black, kind of outlining that white first to kind of get him kind of anchored. So it looks like a big snowball. So I'm going to put my big snowball, leave some space. And if I need, I'm basically a circle. Now I don't know if you guys can see, the circle it's not a complete circle, just a little circle like that.
Excuse me, Ronita, we don't see the bottom of your.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you guys.
There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't like make a complete circle. Part of it kind of goes off my canvas. Kind of straighten it up a little bit. So that, and then I still want to leave a little space in between where we kind of have an idea of where their scarf is. I don't want of course they don't have a neck, but I was going to say I want to leave room for a neck, but I just want to leave space basically for that, the scarf, and I'll start there. I mean, part of the scarf is going to be on him and on his face too. So you don't have to use a big space there. And again, I'm going to put another circle. Just trying to get an idea of where he's his head and all that good stuff.
Remember we were talking about the crew on the helicopter?
Yeah.
One of them was a woman.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just kind of have him outlined. I'm gonna put on my apron. I always mess up my clothes. Now, just about all my clothes have paint on them. But these, my shirt does, the pants don't. So I'm gonna try to reserve these pants for as long as I can. All right, so now I kind of got my outline. I want to go ahead and, like I talked about, I'll save the black for last. I want to put that scarf on there. That's where I'll start. And my scarf is going to be a teal color. You're welcome to switch up your colors. Well, you know, I think I'm going to need to outline the black portion as well, so I know where my scarf starts. Okay. So I'm going to go here where I don't know what that's called that they have. They don't have an arm, or I don't know if it's a fin or a wing or whatever you call it. So I'm going to come down here and bring that up. So that gives me that side of him. He's good and shaped like a penguin for sure. And then I'm going to put one on the other side as well and bring that up. I'm not going to bring it all the way up because that's going to be covered by his hat. So I'm not going to be too concerned about that. Okay. Now I want to put his start out here. I grab my teal color. I'm going to kind of start out here towards his edge. It's going to be a little bit outside the line where I started this outer body. And I am painting horizontal because I like the texture that it gives. I'm sorry, vertical. And I don't have, you can see I don't have any lines. So if you want lines, you can put those in there to guide you, but no lines for me. When I say lines, I mean the lines for his scarf. You can still see my black. That's what I didn't want, my black lines. You can still see there. But after we start layering the scarf, that'll all disappear. It's all good. So I brought that all the way across, guys. Now I can kind of line it a little bit if I want those sides to be even. Or not even, but a little bit straighter. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring that side on down as well. We'll put some fringes on there later. Mm. We're probably going to come back to the, of course, come back to the blue, his hat. But now I'm ready to kind of switch over to my violet, my purple, whatever color. Pink would look cute with that. That blue, whichever works best for you. But I am gonna use my purple. And I kind of want to do the same way that I kind of did my vertical strokes with the scarf. Kind of want to do that as well with my hat.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna put a little bit of curve. I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna put a little bit of curve in there. So I'm just gonna put that line there so you guys will know what I mean. The little curve there. Okay, a little curve there. We can bring it down a little bit more because there's my curve. Now I want to make that brim of his, not the brim, but bring that up. Now it looks like I bought my hat up too far. He's not gonna, top of his hat's not gonna fit on my page. But I like going big. Right. So slide it down a little bit more. And I'm gonna switch back to my green and finish his hat off and walk because I wanna our next we're gonna go after my hat. I want to go back to his beak, and I want to make sure that I have time for this green to dry a little bit because a little bit, but if his beak kind of spills over his scarf. So now switching back to my turquoise or blue if you have blue. And then I'm not going to go with white. as the the purple section, I'm going to bring it in a little bit. Well, I'm going to bring it in quite a bit so that it's kind of like it's peaking. We don't want it to be as wide, that green to be as wide, or our teals wide. And like I said, I made him a little bit bigger than my paper. That's my problem. I like to go big. So I'm still going to be able to get some of his hat on there, but it's going to have to go section here. So that's going to come up, around. Bringing it up over here. So I'm going to have my purple. So I'm gonna leave room for my purple ball over there.
Now I can't see the top of the painting. Okay.
Put that ball. Make it as big, or I'm going kind of big. I like the big ball. Now I'm going to go ahead and rinse that out. Hopefully you guys are with me. And if not, again, I always let you guys know if you don't want the chatter. If you're watching the recording, you can go ahead and mute it and just kind of follow along like that. So I'm ready to jump into my my orange. And I'm pretty much, I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna go with kind of like, come on, iPad, the triangle at the top, and then an upside down triangle, a shorter one. If I can get mine. This is kind of, my goal is for the middle, but if it doesn't make the middle, it's okay. He's still going to be cute and adorable, okay? So what if I do make a T? That will help me anchor, make a T. And the We're going to do the line here. That's my thing making noises. And then now my cross, the cross part is going to be a little bit lower. It's not going to be like an even, the T in the middle is not going to be even. So I'm going to bring it down a little bit, right? A little bit lower. Okay, that makes sense. Then we can take our, curve it out like a bell curve. I don't know if they still do this. When I was in college, I made it through college with the bell curve.
Hmm.
Familiar with it. And the same thing with the bottom, but it doesn't have as much of a curve on it. It's just slightly over the top of his scarf. Now I'm just going to fill him in, and we'll come back, you know, later with lines and all that good stuff.
I think his mouth is too wet to do much on it.
Yeah, we'll just come back.
Or at least my paint is.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm just going to fill it in and we'll come back and let it dry. Now, while that dries, we can jump into our black. I'm going to rinse out my brush. And I'm going to work on these sides. Make sure. Set up some so we can see the bottom. Dip into my black. My sides. I've been kind of discombobulated all week. Had the misfortune of having jury duty this week. I know everybody feels differently about jury duty, but this is my third time. I'm done. I've done my civic duty.
When you get as old as me in the state of Florida, you don't have to go anymore.
Oh my goodness. I don't think they consider age based on some of those people that were in there with me.
Well, a lot of older people like to go because they don't have anything else to do.
Okay. Yeah. I can understand that. It's my third time. And I had actually, they called me up during open enrollment, and I work in the benefits department.
Oh my gosh.
So my bosses helped me write a letter to postpone it until after open enrollment, which was January. And I thought maybe they would forget. It did not happen.
They don't forget. They got you on a computer.
Yeah, they didn't forget. So I'm back, and it just throws everything off for me. Monday was orientation. We didn't actually stay the whole day. Tuesday, I didn't get, I picked for the jury for the voir dire, whatever you want to call it, for that portion. That was all day Tuesday, but I still didn't get picked. They picked all the way around me. I was juror number 3. They picked juror number 2, juror number 4, juror number 5. They just skipped right over me. Don't get me wrong. I'm okay with that.
They could probably tell you we're done.
Yeah, I was having a hard time staying awake, and they probably noticed that. seeing as I was sitting on the front row. And I got my sides here. I'm going to come up and do the sides around his face as well. But actually for the last 2 days, they've been, you know, we have to check every night after 5, and it said that they didn't need anybody yesterday, today, and then I checked today before I left work, and they said they didn't need me. And so it's 4 of us benefits advisors. One lady, she is out because she had surgery, I think gallbladder surgery. So that left 3 of us. And then I was out, so that left 2 of them.
Oh my
And then when
God.
I came in on Wednesday, one of the ladies didn't come in because she's taking care of her mother, and her mother is having a rough time. So she usually doesn't sleep good. So she's up with her mother. So she didn't come in, and then she ended up said she got a sinus infection and a something else and something else. So she's out for the rest of the week. So if I hadn't have showed up for work, then that one benefits advisor would have been there by herself.
Oh my gosh.
So I'd rather be at work. Not that I'm like that, this super dedicated employee, but it does
Yes,
sit and
but
wait
you
for
want
you.
to get it done. That's it.
Yes. And I'd rather do that than sit and wait to be wadir'd.
Yeah.
So we got our sides done. Now we're ready to put those, I guess you want to call it kind of around his eyes, do those sections around his eyes.
The last time I went for jury duty before I got so old they don't bother me anymore. I was shocked to find out how many people don't read the newspaper. And even more shocking was how many people get all their news from social media, which
Oh, yeah.
was, fantasy land.
And now that you say that, I did not see anyone with a newspaper, but back in the day, the other 2 times that I went, people did sit and read the newspaper. No one read the newspaper this time. It was 250 of us. No one read the newspaper.
Yep, that's about right.
Yep. All right. So you can, when we do the section, where for his eye sockets, then you can grab a pointer brush if that works best for you, and kind of do it that way. And again, like I said, we're kind of doing, I'm going to go on the side of his beak and
Let me see how you
round
do that.
it out. Go on the other side of his beak and round it out over there. And then fill in the middle.
That's great. Okay.
Okay. Next, I'm going to put his eyeballs in there. And again, probably a pointer brush would be good as well. That way you can be exact. Not say that you guys are probably, but I have a flat brush, but I'm gonna use my pointer brush to get those eyeballs in there. Now, I kind of try to get a little bit closer to his beak than to the outside with his eyes. And hopefully yours. I'm loving my penguin, but he is a little bit crooked. So hopefully you guys didn't mimic that part. Eyeballs. And I am gonna, I know that our paper is white and his tummy is white. I am still gonna paint that white. But I'm gonna add, and I'm gonna give him some dimension. I'm gonna add a little bit of color when it gets closer to these edges here. If you see, he'll be white in the center. I'm gonna add a little bit of shadows there. Just faint colors of it's gray, but I'm gonna use black to get that. So I'm gonna start out with my white in the middle. Of course, I'm using my largest flat brush because like I said, the larger areas, I like the bigger brush. It covers the area, I guess, quicker.
So did you put a little black in your white? Is that what you did?
Not yet. I'm going to do that as I get closer to my edges,
Okay.
as I get closest to the black area. I want to put the white on first because I want to blend. So everywhere that's white, I'm making sure I'm going to paint white there first. Then I'll get closer to my edges. I'm going to make sure I have paint on those. When I say edges, it's just closer to the black. Make sure that's wet. And then I'm going to dip just a corner of my brush in my black. Just a little bit of black there, guys. And then I'm going to go around the edges. That's too much for me. I'm just going to blend in some more white to tone it down some. I want to do that on both sides. But black, it can take over, so be real careful with that, with adding any black, just a smidgen of it, okay? And if it's too much, I'm just blending in even more white just to balance it all out. I'll have a lot of white.
How did you get your smidgen of black in with the white?
I dipped the corner of my brush, just the corner, but actually it was more than what I expected. But then I just blended, put a lot of white on top of that black. I started blending, got real heavy with the white to try to blend it in some, because it was, like I said, you have to be careful with that white, with that black. It will take over.
Okay.
So just before it dries in that area, just put more white on top. Just layer more white on it. And if you have to, rinse your brush out to get the black out of your brush, and then layer some more white on top of the black.
Yeah, I think I got a little too much black.
Yeah, it happens because it was more than what I wanted, but I was still able, like I said, to kind of tone it down some.
Right. Let's see. Okay. I could do that. Oh, shoot. I got more on instead of less.
Well, you might have to stop and go ahead and rinse your brush out.
That's just what I'm doing.
Yeah, get all the black out of the brush.
Mhm. That's just what I'm doing. Oops.
Now I'm going to do the same thing I did with the body. I'm going to do it around the eyes. Go ahead and paint that white, because I'm also going to put a little bit of a shadow there as well. But if that shadow was too much, it didn't work out for you, don't worry about it. Don't add it to your bird or your penguin.
Well, penguins are a bird, no?
Okay. I don't know my
I think they're birds. I don't think they fly, but they're birds. They lay eggs.
yeah, they sure do.
Mhm.
So I'm going to do the same thing that I did below. I painted it white, and then I dipped the corner of my brush in the black. But after I dipped it, I wiped it off on my tray. I wiped a bunch of the black off. So I just have a smidge, and like you can see, it's just a shadow.
Right.
It's just a shadow. So make sure your paint, your white paint is nice and wet. So for blending, then I touched just a smidgen, just a corner of my brush, just a smidgen, you can see that. And then I wiped it off on my tray. So that makes it a little bit, it's not as strong. So really I want it more than that, but I don't have too much. And so if I want to go heavier,
Right.
I'm okay, because it's easier to go forward than backwards. So I wipe some of it off, then go on in there and start kind of blending. Yeah, see that one a little more in there.
Oops. Wait.
That was a little bit heavier. And if I don't like that, I just go back on top with the white. And I'm just kind of do that blending around his eye socket. Now we have that area. We're gonna kind of let that, I kind of want to work on the background. It's not as much, and you know, I'm not gonna put a lot of tea, but first, before I jump on the background, I want to put, for me, my orange is very translucent. I just want to put another coat of orange on his, that section, because my orange is very translucent.
Starting to look a little cute, even though he's misshapen.
Yeah, mine's is, yeah, he's a little odd fellow, but he's cute. So now I'm gonna take my largest brush and decide what what I want. And I'm just gonna use just a blue. I'm just gonna grab my blue, just a regular true blue. I'm just gonna grab a true blue. And of course, you guys know I like the little bit of texture. So it's not gonna be a flat, solid background. I just want it to be dark enough so that I can, you know, put some snowflakes in the background. We have truly had winter. This winter, it was truly winter. So guys, you know, I have my blue and my white because I don't want it to be a dark blue. So I have both blue. I dip my brush in both blue and white before I put it on my canvas. Again, I like the texture, and it's not, and see how I put mine on there just because I just like the texture. And I'm kind of, you know, going kind of big in the larger areas before I get too close. But out here, you know, I'm okay. I'm not going to mess up anything. But as I get closer to,
No taller.
kind of slow down and be a little more careful. What's that?
Yes. Yeah, I can't talk right now, dear. I'll put it in later.
I just kind of concentrate on the wide open spots, and then I'll go in later and try to hit up those, get closer to the, slow down and get my penguin. But really just basically now I'm just kind of dabbing the paint on there in the larger areas because like I said, I like that texture. And it's almost like a dry brush look. But my brush is not, you know, completely dry, it's still kind of wet.
But you put it in blue and then also in the white. Is that what you did?
Yep, I dip my brush in both the blue and the white.
Okay, I'll try that.
And so basically, if I'm blending or mixing, I'm not mixing on the tray. It's doing more mixing on the canvas.
Okay, that makes sense. Let me see what I can do.
Yeah. So now I I hit up my larger areas with my brush so that, and now it's time for me to go in closer. So I'm going to slow down, get a smaller brush because I had my really big brush, but I'm gonna go a little bit smaller as I get closer to my penguin. I'm going to do the same with both the blue and the white colors, and then just get a little bit closer to the subject. I'm gonna go to my other side and do the same thing. Go a little bit slower, my dabbing, as I get in closer to the subject. And I'm okay if like sometimes it goes over onto the subject across the line because we're gonna outline him. So that's why I'm okay if I kind of go over the line or whatever. That's we'll tighten everything up with a little outline. I love it. And real like some people also use markers or Posca pens, acrylic paint markers like that. And you're welcome to do that. Me, I like the paintbrush. I like the design, the effect that it gives. So I like to outline mine with the paintbrush. So next, I want to put a little bit of I want to decorate his scarf and hat and put some colors in there, something. So of course I'm going to use whatever I have on my tray. I mean, you can switch up and add some different colors, but I'm going to use what I have. I'm kind of frugal. I'm going to use the paints that I have on my trays. I always overdo it and put way too much paint on my trays. So I'm going to use what I have. And this is me over time putting way too much paint on my tray. And that's where that came from. So this is starting out that way. So first I'm going to I want to debating if I want to do the scarf or the hat first. I'm going to mess with that hat first. So the hat, I'm going to take some white and kind of put that in there. But I'm going to go ahead and put some more purple on there. Just so when I put the white on there, it'll kind of mix and give it that look that you see in the, I'm repainting, now not completely, just putting some splashes of purple on there. So now when I dip my brush that I didn't wipe off, it still has some purple in it. I dip it in some white and kind of go on top. You can see some of it. It just kind of blends. Some of it blends. And I want it to blend a little bit, but not be completely white. So if you can see, I'm just kind of making vertical strokes that are kind of separated to give some, decorate the hat a little bit. And it's about the details. These are like the little details at the end that we're kind of bringing into the painting, that's bringing him out, decorating him a little bit. I want to do the same technique that I did for the hat. It's just a few strokes. You don't have to like repaint the whole hat. We're just going to throw a few strokes in there. I want to do the same thing with the scarf. Go ahead, grab my turquoise and do a couple of lines or strokes of paint. Like I said, we're not going to repaint it. We're just kind of wetting that paint a little bit so it'll blend with the white. Okay. And then after I do that, I'm going to go ahead and dip it in my white and do the same technique I did with the hat. And you can see that because of the paint, it's kind of, we have some areas that's kind of wet. It blends in a little bit. So some are a little bit more white showing and some it's thinned out. And that's kind of giving it a little texture, a little bit of design in our scarves. I don't want to do too overwork it and add too much white on top of what I already have. So I just kind of want it to be a little separated, give it some texture. Okay. Okay. Now I am gonna, there's some more color to the scarf and we'll put that in later, but it doesn't have to be completely dry when we add those colors, but just to give it a little bit of time to dry a little bit on the surface, I'm gonna jump up to the hat. You can see the hat. My favorite thing to do is take the butt of my brush. Take the butt of my brush and dip it in. When like I said, I'm using my orange and whatever colors that I have, but I'm going to take some orange and dab it, put some decoration on that hat. Not a lot, or just depends on what you want. You can have a lot, a little, or a lot, because I want to come back in with the purple as well. So I want to make sure I leave some space for the purple. Another use for your paper towel, wipe the butt of your brush off. And so we're not painting or we're just dabbing that paint on now. And you can use different colors. Like I said, I'm just using the colors I have on my tray. Throw some, what looks like my purple, so dark, it just blended right in with the hat. But there you are. There you have it. Now you can leave the scarf as is, or you can see there's a little bit of color in the scarf as well. You can go ahead and kind of put some, I'm just going to put kind of like we did with the strokes with the white. I'm just going to put just a few here and there. And like I said, my purple is so dark as the scarf, so it blends in a little bit. So I'm trying to learn Spanish. I've been on this free app called Duolingo. It's not, I mean, it's a free version, a paid version. I'm sticking real close to that, the free version. And so I'm on a streak, 126 or 27 days. And so it constantly sends me messages. You don't want to mess up your streak. Where you at? Come take a lesson. Take a lesson. Where are you? So it just sent me a message, and that's what I was reading my message.
I'm doing Spanish too. I've done Duolingo. It's good.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I don't know if it's really the effective as far as I'm not been able to have conversation with anybody.
You never took it in school?
I did not.
Well,
I think when we maybe in elementary, we learned numbers, and no, in high school, no, I don't recall it being offered, back when I was in high school. I think, the women were supposed to take shorthand and typing.
shorthand. You're not that old.
Yes, we did. I learned. I took it. I stayed in there for like two weeks, and I said, yeah, I don't like this. I'm leaving. So I didn't take, I got out of that class. Yeah, they had shorthand. And then, of course, when I got to college, I really wished I had stayed in that shorthand class.
Well, typing is what I wished I would have taken because everything's with the computer now.
Mm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I took typing class, typing 1, typing 2. I was fast at my typing.
I'm jealous.
So I'm going to do the same thing that I did with my purple. I'm going to grab my orange and do it. But again, let me see how, yeah, because my orange, again, like I said, it's kind of translucent, so it doesn't always do good on top. But yeah, it's standing out. I'm okay with it. Don't have to put a lot in there, just give it some color. Yep, there's a few strokes of that. And so now, guys, I did talk about outlining. Now it's kind of up to you, but I am going to outline some things. And you can use your pointer brush. Of course, I'm just going to take my flat brush and turn it sideways and use it like I was. So first, because it's in the middle and it's the first thing I look at, I want to go ahead and outline my my beak. And then I can use this time to, like, if my lines are uneven in between, I can just even them out with the black. And to me, this is where it transforms. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring that down. Then put one across. So, as his beak, at the middle of his beak. Okay. And also around his eye sockets, where I kind of went over a little bit with his with my white. I'm gonna tighten that up a little bit, make that a little bit neater. That's what we do with our black. Just make things a little bit neater. And again, you can use a marker, Posca pen, or oh, I have those acrylic markers. It's acrylic paint that's in a marker form. It's still a black acrylic paint. I'd use
I've heard of
those.
an acrylic marker.
You what?
I've never heard of that, an acrylic marker.
Oh yeah, they come in all colors.
Do you use it just for outlining?
Um, I really don't use them. I really just have them for my painters if they wanted to. They like my hand is not, they might feel like their hand is not steady, or they don't want to do the outlining with the brush. But me, I don't use them for much of anything, maybe to sign my name on my paintings or something. But I mean, there's other things you can do with it, but I don't know what they are. I don't really do it. People use it in crafting. So now, like I said, I'm just kind of tightening up, going to outline. I'm going to outline my eyeballs because I kind of took some of the white into the eyeballs. I'm also going to outline my scarf. Again, it just tightens things up for me. And that's, I know some people, they just use a Sharpie, and the Sharpie, to me, it just, I don't like the Sharpie effect, so I definitely don't use a Sharpie. Because, maybe it's kind of shinier. You can tell the difference. So just right now I'm just outlining my scarf. With the paintbrush. Gonna put a little bit of put a line through the scarf right here, like it's kind of overlapping here. That's optional. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go up here and outline my hat. Now, I mean, and it's optional to outline, but I love the outline look. Gives it that whimsical kind of whatever look that I'm always going for. So I like the outline. Kind of. I don't think I'm going to outline the ball. I'm going to leave it as is. You guys can see the ball of the hat. a really popular brand of the acrylic paint markers is Posca. I don't know. I think it's I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Posca, Posco, but I think I've heard it said a couple different times. Again, that's one of the most recommended brands, but I don't really use them, so I don't buy them. I do have some, but they're just basically some black and white ones, like for outlining, for such, just for my painters. And then a lot of times the paint marker, the lines might be a little bit thicker. And that's fine if you want a thicker one, but usually for me, I'm not going for the thicker one. So next brush, kind of wrapping it up in white is usually how I top off my painting, bring it to put my finishing touches on with my white. Of course, those eyes, I cannot leave that just a plain black. So I take the butt of my brush, dip it in my white, and put a sparkle in his eye. Okay. Then I am using a pointer brush. Put a couple of highlights. Really, there's not a lot of highlights for the put a little bit on his beak. So that kind of give it, hopefully I'm making it look like it to a point. Yeah, I didn't quite give it the effect that I wanted. So I'm going to make it a little bit thicker. So it kind of looks like a bit wider. Isn't that better? And then I want to put a little bit of white. I'm going to put it over here, one of his wings slash fins slash arm. Yeah, kind of just give it, because it's separated in the example, but I'm not going to separate, just kind of even just throw some lines over there so it can give it that illusion. And sometimes I get carried away with the white lines. So if you guys don't want these on yours, don't do it. But again, I just like the whimsical look of it, the white lines. I like to finish mine up. All right. Oh, I didn't put any snowflakes in the background, so let's definitely do that.
What about the fringe? We're not going to do that?
Oh, yeah. That's why I was like, hey, I missed this. I missed this. Let's put some fringes on there. Now my orange doesn't cover very well. So hopefully your fringes looks better. And see that? Almost like I'm thinking like a upside down sprout of like a plant. That's what I see that as. It'll definitely show up on the white, but the black, it'll be a little bit different. But for me, my paint is a little bit heavier. So so now it stands out a little bit better on top of that black because the paint's really heavy. I'm putting heavy paint. I'm not worried about it. We're not coming back. So definitely there's the fringes. That and then what else? The some
Snowflake.
snowflakes.
How do you do that?
So you can use that the same technique with the dots, but kind of small. What I like to do, take my finger and smudge them around in a circle.
Alert from low battery.
That one's kind of big, but just go a little bit smaller if you want them smaller. Now, some of them can be faint like that, or still do some where they're all just a blob of paint. And then you can see the, where's my pointer brush? Pointer brush, where you just make a snowflake, even if you just painted a snowflake. Now, the ones on here, let me put one here. Theirs are just kind of like that. That's the ones on the example, but some ones that we had fun with. Or so cross, then an X in between with the X being a little bit shorter. So those are super cute, super fun snowflakes. I would say cute, but they're fun. So there's that was 3 different techniques for snowflakes, and kind of put those in. What do you think as far as how you want those to be? So I'm gonna put some more where I smudge. I like the smudging. I don't know why. Can make some smaller smudges, some bigger smudges. Different sizes, different kind of snowflakes. I can make one that's not perfectly straight up and down. Okay. Not exactly what I was thinking, but I think it got it. Okay, so now I'm getting a little carried away with the snowflakes. That one didn't smudge very well. Try it again. So are you guys putting a lot of snowflakes on there? Are you having as much fun with the snowflakes as I am?
Yes, it is fun.
I didn't put any snowflakes on top of my penguin, but you're welcome to do that.
Like Penguin looks like a football player. He's got a very wide neck.
Well, mine does too. It doesn't curve in, but I mean, penguins' necks don't curve in. So basically we just put a scarf on that section where he doesn't have a neck. Oh, did you hold it up? I didn't see it.
Oh, well, I was looking at it myself.
Oh, okay.
All right, I have to go.
Okay.
But
I
let's
didn't
see
do
yours,
any,
Carol.
I didn't do any snowflakes, but everything else is on there, sort of.
Can we see it?
Yeah, well, it's on a really big thing, but I could try. Let me see if I can get it in front of the camera. Oh,
Yeah,
but
you're
I have the background blurred. That ain't gonna help
right.
fun. Hold on, let's see. Uh-oh, why am this thing saying low battery on top of everything? Hold it. Let me see if I can at least do that. Where's the little thing to find?